All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. For today's webinar, my name is Emily Springer. I'm an academic trainer from the Center for Teaching and Learning, and I am joined today by my colleague, Jenna Johnson, who is also an academic trainer in the Center for Teaching and Learning, Marisha Kelly, our NCU librarian, and Shelley Gordon Baker, one of our academic coaches in the Academic Success Center. So we're very excited that you're here joining us today for our short 1 hour brief overview of our resource centers. You may use these every day as a student. You may use them frequently. You might be brand new to your program, and this is a great resource for you to be attending. Couple of brief reminders. This webinar is being recorded and we will post it in our CTL Webinars LibGuide page. We also have a live transcript. Should you want to see a live transcript, make sure you click on the closed caption at the bottom of your Zoom and hit show subtitle if you'd like to view that. I noticed a few people popped in the chat where they were joining us from. That was nice to see. Remember, if you use the chat and you want everyone to see your comments, make sure you select the everyone in that drop down. Otherwise, it's just going to go to hosts and panelists. And we'd also like you to ask questions. So please do that in the chat or the Q&A, and we will get to those as time permits. So to start us off, I am going to pass it over to my colleague, Jenna Johnson.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. As Emily said, I am Jenna Johnson. I am an academic trainer in the CTL, and I am going to get us kicked off here. I'm going to show you how to actually access the resource centers from NCU 1. So let me share my screen. Okay. So when you first log into NCU 1, you should be on the home page here, and you'll notice this top navigation bar right here. You can see that we have a link for the library, we've got the commons, we've got the resource centers. To get to the Center for Teaching and Learning, which is what I'm going to present to you today, you're going to click the caret next to resource centers, select Center for Teaching and Learning, and it's going to open up a new tab for you. And here we are at the homepage for the CTL Resource Center. So there is a lot of good information here. I'm going to try and cover a few different things for you. One of the first things that I want to point out when you land on this page is the Commons calendar. And the Commons calendar, when you click on it, it's actually going to take you over to the Commons, and it's going to pull up all of the different CTL webinars and events. And that includes our, power hours. So it's definitely something that you want to keep an eye on. It's something that you want to pay a little bit of attention to because it also has, like I said, our webinars. Another area here that I really want to point out is the NCU clock. I know time zones and, times changing is confusing, but just remember that NCU does operate in Arizona time, and Arizona does not participate in daylight saving. So that's one of those things when we do the changeovers in March and November that you want to keep an eye on. If you're ever unsure about when you need to be submitting assignments, just remember we operate on Arizona time, and you can come right here to the clock to take a look and see what time it is. Down below, we have a little snippet right here for the service desk. If you need to contact the service desk, you can actually click right here, and it's going to go ahead and open up your email platform so that you can send them a message directly. And while we were just talking about the clock here, I do have another little box at the bottom that says NCU clock. It's actually a video that you can watch. You can watch it on YouTube if you want. That kind of talks about the time zones and the fact that Arizona doesn't change times. If we scroll back up here real quick, we do have a box at the very top in the middle. It's the top 5 resources. Essentially what it is, We've run the statistics to find out, what are the students using the most? And it turns out these are the top 5 things in this resource center that are being used the most. So if you have a chance, definitely come in here and check out all of these different, guides and resources, because it could be just something that you were looking for. Right here in the middle still, we have the learning resource topics. These are different topics that we have for, technology, maybe for study skills, for, different things that you may need. Emily is going to go into a little bit more detail on those, but I did want to show you that we do have those available. I'm going to scroll up just a little bit here, and then I want to point out the Ask the CTL box. And I know that some of the other resource centers have something similar. So definitely pay attention to this, because you can get a lot of your questions answered this way. We have basically the email address here, much like the service desk. If you click it, it's going to go ahead and open up the email platform so you can send the CTL an email. You have the option, if you click the submit a question, it's going to open up an online form that comes directly to the CTL, and we monitor that so that we can get back to you as quickly as possible. Now, if you're on a mobile device, you can actually click on the text us. It's going to open up your text messages, and it's going to start a message for you so that you can go ahead and send a message to the CTL. Another thing that I really want to point out is the chat with an alumni navigator. So if the chat was available, you would see, right here, a box that basically allowed you to fill some information out and start that chat. Down below, you can see the chat hours that we have for our navigators. Today, it looks like they're actually going to be on at 5 p.m. Because they're not on right now, and if you have a question, you can actually search the CTL Resource Center. You can search our FAQs. So our FAQs are the frequently asked questions, that we get a lot from students. And so we wanted to make sure that we highlighted those, gave you the opportunity to be able to search for them. And then I am going to point out one more search option. So the box down here with the chat with an alumni navigator is to search our FAQs. But if you go up to the top here, this is the top search bar, you can actually type in a phrase, a word, and hit search. And then what you're going to find is that it's going to search the whole resource center. So not just the FAQs, but it might find you, some webinars, it might find you a bunch of different information. So you're searching the whole resource center. And with that, I am actually going to turn it on over to Emily to show you a little bit about the learning topics, the commons, and the FAQs.
Hold on one second here, folks. I just want to make sure you can see my screen okay.
I can see it.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you so much, Jenna, for that overview. So I'm going to spend just a little bit of time going over one of our resource topics and the commons and some webinar information. But I just wanted to show you some of the similarities that you can see as you peruse this resource center. I'm going to go into NCU1. And the reason why I chose this is because we do often get questions in this area. For example, how to use NCU1. Here's our student guide. We have our Cultura user guide, which is a frequently asked question, and our Turnitin as well too. When you come to any one of the resource topics, you'll notice that there's a brief paragraph right here that points you to these tabs on your left-hand side on how to navigate the page. When I scroll down, I can see that we have quick go-tos for the other resource topics. You can obviously see where we can ask some questions here. And then when you're on this page as well too, it'll have any of our webinars that are tied to this learning topic. So we have our NC1 features in here, we have our university services module, and we also have our Making the Most of Kaltura in NCU1 webinar. This is just one of our resource topics. I'm going to bring you into the study skills area too, just because I want to be sure that you can see the similarities. When you're in the study skills and LibGuides, you'll see again that little paragraph right up at the top, and it shows you the links on the left-hand side, different categories, and within each category, you'll find information that may help you as a student. When you scroll down, you will notice that we have Marsha Kelly, she's famous. She is on our study skills webinar. So anything that has to do with studying skills is going to be linked as a webinar to this page, trying to make it easy for you to access as a student. Now that I've shown you just two resource topics, I wanted you to see the similarity of the layout. I'm going to bring you back to the homepage for the Center for Teaching and Learning. And I'm going to bring you into the webinar section because we often get questions that have to do with how do I find this webinar, or how do I find this topic? So I want to bring your attention to the fact that we have this little fun search webinar section right here on our page. And I'm just going to do one quick search for you so you can see what pops up. Just to give you an example, I'm going to go ahead and type in self-care and I'll search there. From here, you can see any of our CTL webinars that have to do with self-care. Same thing, if I were to type in dissertation, you would see any of our webinars that we posted that have to do with the dissertation topic. And so I wanted to bring your attention to that. You'll notice that when I clicked the webinar tab, it popped me open to a new tab. So I'm going to hop back to our LibGuides section and click on the home page to get back here. There's two more brief things that I'm going to pass it back to Jenna. We also help facilitate information and training resources for the Commons. So I want you to realize that there is a whole page dedicated towards how to use the Commons, why the Commons is important, how it can bring value to your experience as a student, and then all of the technical pieces of what you can do in the Commons. For example, when we do posting, tagging, and hashtags, you can see that if you wanted to go quickly, for example, tagging a person in the Commons, I'll click on that. It drops you down on the screen, gives you a quick little visual on how to do it, and then a step-by-step approach on how to do this. So honestly, I could spend like a lot of time in there. I am going to just make sure that you are aware that is where your resource is. And the last piece of information are frequently asked questions. This is a cool little tab. You can go right in here. I have a question. I have a question about the IRB and the CTL. I'm going to search there. What? Nothing comes up? No problem. Look on the side. We have NCU, we have IRB, and library. And when I select those things, I can see any of the frequently asked questions. How do I contact the IRB? How do I find the application? These are great resources for you to utilize as a student. And with that, I am going to pass it over to Jenna for a few last pieces.
Actually, it looks like we just got something in the chat, Emily.
Okay.
I will share my screen and show you that again real quick.
Okay, no problem.
All right, so I'm going to navigate with the breadcrumb up here back to the Center for Teaching and Learning. And then under the CTL FAQs, we're going to click this link right here.
Okay.
And then Emily, you typed in IRB, correct?
Correct.
Perfect. So IRB, we're going to select search, but because we're in the CTL, you'll see nothing comes up. If you navigate down to the bottom right here, you can actually click other groups and you'll notice that more information pops up. So hopefully that helps.
Thank you so much, Jenna, for that
Of
clarification.
course.
I couldn't see the chat. Thank you.
I'm going to show you one more thing that's near and dear to my heart. It's LinkedIn Learning. So at the top of the tabs here on the homepage for CTL, we have LinkedIn Learning. If you click there, it's going to take you over to the LinkedIn Learning page. All current students have access to LinkedIn Learning at no cost. I definitely recommend that you visit this page to find out more information about what LinkedIn Learning is and what are its benefits, because it definitely has a lot of different benefits for students, for staff, for faculty. If you have any questions, more specific questions, you can actually visit the FAQs here on the left. And you can see that we do have some frequently asked questions and some answers. So get in here, you can actually find out, how portable it is, how to access LinkedIn Learning. I love this resource. But before I kick it over to the Academic Success Center, do we have any questions, Emily?
I don't see any questions at this time. There was one question about where we can watch the video of this again. Would you mind going to the homepage for CTL and just showing where that would be located?
Absolutely. So we'll use the breadcrumbs to go back to the Center for Teaching and Learning. And then up at the top here, you can see the webinars section. It's a little tab. If you click on it, you can come down here. You can see the webinars. Here's the all topics. You can select by type or category, or you can do a search right here. And this should be posted within 24 hours, right, Em?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
And then I want to point out, I know we don't really have any questions, at the moment, but just remember, we do have the Ask the CTL box here on our homepage. Send us an email, submit a form, you can text, you can chat. If you have anything that comes up, just make sure that you send it off to us and we will try and get it answered for you. And then I am going to show one more thing. If you scroll all the way down on the homepage, you're going to see icons for the rest of the resource centers. If you click any of these icons down here, you can actually go to the page for that resource center. So I am going to click on Academic Success Center. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Shelley in the Academic Success Center.
Thank you, Jenna. My name is Shelley Gordon-Baker, and I am the Student Success Coach in the Academic Success Center. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so I can give you a tour of the ASC. I'm going to spend a lot of time going over the coaching scheduler. Our site functions the same way as the CTL site. We have a lot of resources for you here. And as Jenna mentioned, you can get to us from the Resource Center in NCU1. Just from our homepage, you can see there's a lot of information to go through. So if you want to learn more about the Academic Success Center, for example, you would click on this link and you can learn more about our coaching. You can learn more about what we do here in the Academic Success Center, which I'll talk about in just a moment. So here in the ASC, we really assist students with enhancing their writing skills, statistics skills, legal writing skills as well. We can also help in helping you create your problem statement and purpose statement. We have tons of group sessions that are focused on helping students through the dissertation phase. So one thing you may want to view is our group session description link, and that way you could see which group session fits your needs. These sessions are broken down into categories. So take a look at what session would meet your need based on where you are. All right, so anytime you click on one of our links, they do open in a new page. You can navigate back to the home page by either clicking on the ASC homepage or just by going to the previous tab. We also have our icons here. So we have our writing, statistics, legal, APA style, editing. All of these icons and links do navigate to the same page as these tabs. So for example, if you wanted to go to the legal writing resources, you could either click on the tab here, the icon, or the link, and you would get to those same resources. So whenever you're navigating any of our resources, take your time and go through to see what you're looking for. Many of our resources have drop downs, or they have different categories that you can click on. So look through them to see what we have available. And if you have something particular in mind that you're looking for, you can also use our search guide, which appears on any of the pages. So just as Jenna showed you how to use the search guide, you can use that on our page as well. We also have our ASC Chat, which is similar to the CTLs as well. Here with our chat, you would speak with a ASC coach, and that way, if you have any quick questions about statistics, legal writing, editing, we can go ahead and chat with you about your question. We can also get you scheduled with a coach as well. So you can use our ASC Chat, and if chat is unavailable at the time, you can submit a question here by completing this form, and then usually a coach will get back to you within 24 hours. You can also email or text us, and you can search our FAQs as well. And a lot of your questions may be answered here. You can type in a question or view the common questions. You can also view our hours, and you can also get to our Ask a Coach options and our chat from the FAQ page as well. You can also learn more about our different types of coaching sessions that are available here through the ASC. And we also do have the NCU clock available on our homepage. All of the ASC coaching sessions are held in Phoenix, Arizona time, so you can use the NCU clock to help you attend your session. And also from our homepage, you can get to the IT services as well. So I'm going to go ahead and show you our coaching scheduler. I know a lot of students have questions on how to use that coaching scheduler, so I'll spend the rest of the time there. So from our homepage, you can navigate to our coaching scheduler by either clicking on the scheduler or clicking on the link to the scheduler. Either one will take you to the same place. If this is your first time using the scheduler, you will have to register. So here you would click on Register for an Account. Once you click on that link, you'll use your NCU email address to sign up. It's important that you use that email address. That's where we send all our communications about your session. From there, you'll complete the form, and you'll be sure to add your student ID, which you can find in NCU1. And of course, I'm sure one of the CTL navigators will assist you with locating your student ID just in case you're unable to find it. You'll go ahead and add a password that you would like to use to access the coaching scheduler, and then complete your registration. Once you're done, you can then go ahead and sign in with your NCU email address and password. One of the important things to remember before signing in is to choose the right scheduler. We do offer a proofreading service, which I'll talk about at the end. So if you're choosing, if you're signing up for coaching, you want to make sure that this bubble is here next to the 2021 ASC coaching scheduler. If you're logging into the proofreading scheduler, of course, you would change it there. So I'm going to go ahead and log in so you can see the scheduler. So here at the top of the scheduler, there is a quick blurb on the type of sessions that we have. And then below that blurb, you can then access the scheduler. So let me talk about the different sessions that we have available to you. We have recorded coaching sessions. These sessions are not live, so you don't meet with a coach during those sessions. Instead, you upload a document for a coach to review, and they provide you with verbal and written feedback on that document within 48 hours of your appointment date. So it's important that when you self-schedule that session, you upload your document. We also have group sessions, as I spoke about earlier, and those sessions are live, and they host up to about 8 students, some 7, depending on the session. That gives you an opportunity to talk about, for example, dissertation formatting or quantitative writing or SPSS. We have a variety of group sessions, but you're able to chat with the coach as well as listen to the coach talk about that skill. Then we also have individual sessions. Those are 45 minutes. And during that session, it's a one-on-one live session with a writing coach, just a statistics coach, excuse me, or a legal writing coach. The individual sessions, you have to use our ACC Chat to request an individual session. The recorded and group sessions, you can self-schedule. So you would self-schedule here from the coaching scheduler. You see that there are two colors. There's blue and there's white. Any white box means that that session is available for you to schedule, to self-schedule. You'll notice that anything that says individual, all the boxes are blue. That's because students can't self-schedule, so they won't know if that session is available. So you'll have to use ACC Chat to discuss your availability as well as your coaching needs. And that way a coach can go ahead and get you scheduled for one of those sessions. I always suggest that students book about a week or so in advance. Our sessions fill up very quickly. So in order to get a session, come to the ASC, use our ASC Chat about a week in advance to book an individual session. Even group sessions and recorded sessions tend to fill up quickly as well. If you see a session that's gray, for example, the IRAC session, this is gray, that session time has passed, so students are no longer able to sign up for it. Once you're ready to sign up for a session, you just click on the white box and an appointment form will will open in a new window. So you'll just complete the form. So anything that has a red asterisk, you want to make sure that you complete that form, discuss your goals for the session. And then if you want your faculty member to receive a copy of your coaching plan, then you would check yes, provide their email address, and then go ahead and create your appointment. You do not have to upload a document if it is for a if it's for a group session or an individual session. Typically the only session that requires a document is for a recorded session. So group sessions, during that time, you're focusing on skills instead of your personal document. Once you've scheduled your session, your block for that time turns yellow. So that lets you know you have a session scheduled for that particular time on the coaching scheduler for that day. When it's time to access your live session, you would click on the yellow box, and then your appointment form opens again in a new window. From there, you would click on the Zoom meeting link, and that will take you to your session. All of our sessions are held via Zoom. So this is one of the ways that you can access your session. The Zoom meeting link is also sent to you in a confirmation email once you sign up. All right, so that is how you sign up for a group session or a recorded session. Again, recorded sessions are not live, and you receive feedback for all of your sessions. When your feedback is ready, you get an email saying that a file has been attached to your appointment form. So you'll have to come back here to the coaching scheduler in order to download that file. To do that, you can either, if it's the same day as your session, scroll down to the appointment form and click on the appointment form. If your session has passed, since you can only see 7 days at a time, you can go to the previous week, or you can navigate the coaching scheduler using the mini calendar. So if you had a session on December 2nd and you want to go back and retrieve your appointment form, you could just, again, use this little mini calendar, click on December 2nd, and then scroll down and find your appointment form, find your appointment time on the scheduler. So again, you'll take the same steps, click on that yellow box for your appointment time, but this time you'll scroll down to the bottom of your appointment, and then you'll see that there is a link to download for your client report form. Once you download that link, at the top, you'll see a link to your recorded session. So all of these sessions, whether it's recorded, coaching, or individual, you'll get a coaching plan. And at the top of that coaching plan, there's a link for the recording of that session. So that's a way that you can go back and review anything that occurred during the session. And for recorded sessions, that's a way you can view the verbal feedback. So be sure to come back here to access your client report form. Now, as I mentioned, we also have proofreading. So the proofreading is a fee-based service. Our coaching services, as I mentioned, is free, but we do offer proofreading as well. The proofreading, you would want to view the proofreading service link from the ASC's homepage. That way you can view the different services that are offered and the price as well. And once you are ready to purchase your service, you would click on the purchase desired service link, and then you'd click on this link to go to the comments page. That way you can go to the portal, the payment portal, to pay for your service. Once you have paid for the service, you will log into the schedule as I showed you before, or if you're already logged into the scheduler, you would just use this tab here at the top to go ahead and go to the ASC proofreading service. From here, you would choose the service that you paid for. So for example, if you paid for a 1-hour service, you would click on that box and then complete the appointment form. You would also have to upload your receipt, and you would also have to upload your document for review and then create your appointment. You'll receive your feedback within 3 days of your appointment date. So once your feedback is ready, you do get that notification through your NCU email address. And then you can come back here, and again, you can access your appointment from the coaching scheduler and download your appointment form. If you have any questions about our proofreading service or any of our coaching services, please feel free to reach out to us through our ASC chat. If we're offline like we are now, again, you can use one of our other Ask a Coach options. Okay. Any questions?
That was wonderful. Thank you so much for going into detail on that coaching, scheduling coach options. And there was a question that was in the chat, and we did answer it in the chat, but I just want to make sure, because when you see the recording, you don't get to see those questions.
Right.
So one of the questions for the scheduler is the password for the scheduler the same as the NCU password?
Good question. So when you register, you're actually going to create your own unique password for the coaching scheduler site. So this site is not connected to NCU1 at all. So this operates outside of it. So you're registering, you're just using your NCU email address, but you're creating your own password for this site. You can use the same, that's up to you, whichever is easiest for you to remember.
We live in a world of passwords. Okay, so
indeed.
And then Sharita asked, can my comp assignment be uploaded for review? And I just was hoping maybe you could explain that a little bit.
That's really a great question. So when students are in the CMP courses, they can access proofreading. That's something that you can pay for. But for coaching, students in the CMP courses can only attend group sessions. They can also use ASC Chat to ask quick questions. Once you're done with that course, you're free to schedule a recorded coaching session or an individual session.
Awesome. And Jenna was very helpful, and she did pretty much surmise that in the chat, but I wanted to make sure that we had that for the recording.
No problem.
There are no other questions at this time.
All right. Well, just like the ASC has an icon at the bottom, so does the library. So I'm going to hand off this session to Marisha now so that she can discuss the library's website.
Thanks so much, Shelley. So I'm going to All right, so this is the NCU Library's homepage. So I hope you all are somewhat familiar with this page, but I'm so happy and excited to take this opportunity to kind of walk you through some of the different features and services that are available to you. That being said, the NCU Library has a lot of different resources available, a lot of different services. So at any point in time, if you do have any questions, I do want to stress that please don't hesitate to reach out to us. It's why we're here. Anything that we can do to help you navigate the page more effectively. If you're conducting research on a particular topic and you're not sure where to start, on this page here, on the far right, you do have our contact method. So at any point in time, you can submit your question through Ask a Librarian, which is a simple form that you fill out with your questions related to research. So this will bring you to our FAQ page here, but you can submit that question using this form here. And you'll get a response within 24 hours as well. You can also email us directly. So that goes to the general library inbox where either myself or one of my library teammates can get back to you with an answer. We also have our chat service, especially if you're looking for assistance with different search strategies. If you have a broken link in a course, usually chat is the best way to reach out to us. That way we can share information with you and share different links or even screenshots on how to access the content that you're looking for. And of course, you can always call us and you can also text us. I don't recommend texting if you have more in-depth questions related to research because we have character limits when we reply to text messages. But if you have, short questions with simple answers, feel free to text us at that number. Otherwise, we'll probably ask you to hop on a chat or email us for more information. And then you have the NCU library hours posted during this time. So as far as live help goes, chat, phone, and text are available during the hours listed here. And just like the CTL, just like the ASC, the NCU library also operates on Phoenix, Arizona Mountain time. So again, just make sure that you account for any time changes or any time differences for live help. I'm going to switch gears over here to the far left. Under How Can I, we have some important links that I do want you to keep in mind. So just like we saw earlier, when you click on Ask a Librarian to submit your question, you also have a link to our frequently asked questions. And chances are that if you have a question, someone else may have already posed that question to the NCU library. So this will bring you to our knowledge base. And you saw this with the CTL and the ASC. So, any questions that you may have, you can easily search for in this knowledge base. So if I needed more information, maybe on how to find peer review resources in the library, I can do a quick search here. So you can see some of the different questions that are associated with my keyword for peer review. So how do I find scholarly peer-reviewed journal articles? What's the difference between scholarly and peer-reviewed journals? So a whole knowledge base here. And this will give you some step-by-step instructions as well as refer to different tools that are available in the library to help you answer those questions. And again, if you have any questions beyond what you're finding in the knowledge base as well, you can submit it through the form here. You can call, you can text, and then you also have live chat available during our help hours that are posted. Under How Can I, you also have access to our Refworks tool. And if you're not familiar with Refworks, it is a research management tool that is provided to you free through the NCU library. And I'll click into this guides just to kind of give you a quick overview, but it does allow you to organize all of the research that you're finding for different papers or for your dissertation. So if you think about it, when you're doing research, you're using the NCU library databases, you're using different web search tools, you may have things saved on your desktop. So Refworks is really a personal database of resources that you are creating for yourself. Training is offered on Refworks each week, so you can check out this page here to register for a live training. And we also have a previously recorded webinar, as well as one-on-one appointments available for Refworks that you can register for. But again, if you're coming from the NCU Library's homepage under How Can I, you can click to access Refworks and the associated LibGuide with more information about using the tool and how it works. The next link that you have here is important. This is our interlibrary loan service. So you can actually request interlibrary loan items. And if you're not familiar with interlibrary loan, this is a free service that is provided to you as an NCU student that allows you to request any needed articles or resources electronically. So I'm willing to bet that throughout the course of your research, you are going to come across different articles, different book chapters, different resources that we just may not have available within the NCU library. So there's a lot of information out there, but we unfortunately do not subscribe to everything. But we have Interlibrary Loan to help us obtain those items that you need in order to carry out your research. That being said, if you also find any articles, let's just say through a Google Scholar search or online, that are requesting you to pay or purchase in order to access that article, please don't do that. Please check with us in the NCU library to cross-check our holdings to see if we actually have access to that resource. And if we don't, then we can, proceed with having you place a request through Interlibrary Loan. Now, everybody here has access to an interlibrary loan account. But if it is your first time accessing the service, you'll come to this page here. You'll click into access the interlibrary loan system, and you will need to set up your password for this system. So your username is actually your NCU school email address. But once we get to this landing page here, actually, it looks like I was already logged in, so I'm going to go ahead and sign out. All right, so once you get to this landing page here, you'll go ahead and click on reset your password, and you'll receive an email to your NCU school email address with a link to click on in order to set up the password for Interlibrary Loan. And then you can begin submitting requests for any resources. So there's different forms to fill out for articles, different forms for book chapters. But again, if you come across a resource that just isn't available through the NCU library or that is requesting payment, if you find it through an online source, certainly submit it through Interlibrary Loan. I will mention that with Interlibrary Loan, there is a little bit of a time lag, right? Because we have to process your request and then send it to other lending libraries so that they could provide us with an actual copy of the resource. So generally, turnaround time for requests, we say 5 to 7 business days, but usually article request, if it's a popular journal, which most journals aren't too difficult to come by, we can usually fulfill requests within 48 to 72 hours. Okay, so that's our Interlibrary Loan service here. Under How Can I, you also have the option to request in-depth research support. So the NCU library actually provides a one-on-one service through our research consultations. And this is a service that allows you to meet one-on-one with a librarian to discuss your research topic at length. So today you might be researching XYZ topic. Tomorrow you might be researching ABC topic and you're not sure where to start start. Maybe you need to update your references for your dissertation topic. You're having a tough time finding resources related to your theoretical framework. So all of those types of research questions, we're happy to meet with you one-on-one, and you can book a research consultation. So if you scroll down on this page, you'll see a little bit more about what the service entails. So again, if you need help developing your search strategy, if you need help with discovering alternative search terms or using advanced search techniques to get to information that you need. But ultimately, you can click here to start preparing for your consultation. You can also book your consultation directly from this page. And then we do ask that you review the Searching 101 workshop. This is a video that provides some basic foundational search techniques, and it does kind of clarify a lot of the content that we will cover in context related to your topic. So we do recommend and require you to see that before booking an appointment. So know that that link is there. Over here on the far left, you are able to schedule a research consultation, or again, you can click on this book a consultation tab, and that is going to bring you to the booking calendar for research consultations. So again, you'll see a little brief synopsis about what the service entails. And this is where you can select your date and your time. Now, no preference will give you the soonest available appointment. And these appointments need to be booked out at least 72 hours in advance in order for us to kind of prepare all of the different search strategies and information related to your topic. So you can select your chosen date and then your chosen time. Again, all of our workshops, all of our one-on-one appointments are hosted in Arizona time. On this calendar here, though, you can change it to your respective time zone. So if I wanted to change to view the available times in Eastern time, the calendar will update. So here I'm seeing those times now reflected in my current time zone. So I'll go ahead and I'll book an appointment here just to kind of bring us to the form. Now, this form we ask that you complete in full. The more information that we have about your topic or some of the challenges that you're experiencing with finding information, that's going to help us when you book your appointment in order to prepare for your session. So if you have any particular keyword terms that you've already searched, any databases that you've looked at already, any articles that you've found to be helpful related to your topic, all of that information will kind of help build the story on what it is that you're looking for and how we can be of support. And all of these sessions are also held through Zoom. So as soon as you confirm your appointment, you'll receive a confirmation email with a link to join your session through Zoom on your selected day and time. Now, going back to our research consultations guide, I also want to mention that you have your recorded video consultation. So if you're not able to book a one-on-one, you can certainly request a recorded video tutorial.
Just a quick question on that one, Marisha.
Yes, absolutely.
Are these research consultations free? That was popped in the chat, and I wanted to make sure you're able to answer that.
Yes, absolutely. So yes, research consultations are free. So you can have a research consultation at any point throughout your research journey. So whether you need help with researching for a particular assignment, whether you're working on chapter 2 of your dissertation, or whether you're struggling with finding a theoretical framework, all of those things are accessible to you through receiving support through a research consultation. So no, there is no charge for a research consultation. Any other questions before we move forward?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. All right, perfect. So again, under How Can I, you can access the research consultations page and that booking calendar by clicking here to request in-depth research support. The last link that I'll just mention briefly under How Can I is that you all retain access to several of the NCU library resources and databases as alumni. And that access is slightly different than the usual ways that you'll access content as a current student. But if you're interested in exploring and seeing what resources are available to you as an alumni, you can certainly access our alumni resources and databases page using this link. Now, under How Can I do want to point out, we do have our upcoming events. And again, these events are held in Phoenix, Arizona time, but we have events going on each week. So you can click on that selected event. We actually have our library dissertation toolbox series with my teammate Amanda Bizet. So you can easily register for this session and register for a reminder using this link here. So you can enter your name and your best email. It doesn't have to be your NCU school email, but this will send you the details and the link to log in. Or if you don't formally register, we include the Zoom links to all of our workshops in the description, so you can easily access the session at the stated date and time using this link here. And I'll just mention as well, you'll notice that there is a time zone in the description. So because I changed my time zone earlier to Eastern time, that's the time that's reflected here. So feel free to change to your respective time zone if you're Pacific, Eastern, Central, or other. That way you can see all of the times reflected appropriately with different events as well as your personal appointments through the library. All right, so that's our upcoming events. I do want to spend a little bit of time on this box here on the center of the homepage. So here you have access to Roadrunner Search. And if you're not familiar with Roadrunner Search, it is our central search for the library. And what that means is it searches the majority of the library's databases, resources, and content on a single search platform. So it's a good place to begin researching a topic. It connects you to different articles, books, magazines, newspapers, videos, conference proceedings, you name it. You can also search scholarly peer-reviewed journals. So if you enter your keyword terms and select this box and hit submit, you'll receive a list of related search results. You can also search by title. So if you wanted to cross-check the NCU library to see if we had access to a particular book or a particular article, you can key in the title as well and search. We do offer a workshop on running research through Roadrunner, and actually our next session is on Tuesday at 8 a.m. So if you're interested in learning more about how to conduct searches effectively within Roadrunner Search, I do recommend signing up for that session. Now, Finder Resource is a different search tool. It actually allows you to search different publications, so journals or books that may be available within the NCU library. So you can search titles by keywords, or you can search by ISSN or ISBN number to see if we have access to a particular journal or a particular book. Library guides, this is a list of all of the library guides that we have access to, and think of library guides as research starters. So if you're not sure where to begin researching a topic, you can certainly scroll through this list here to find a library guide that is based on your field of interest. So each program, each major, each specialization has a library guide with associated resources. So let's just say if your focus was general psychology, we can go ahead and access that library guide. And this will point us to different databases, different journals, different books that are relevant to our field. So it's a good place to kind of get an idea of all of the different library resources that are available to you for your chosen industry or field. And then the last tab that you have here is our Ask a Librarian tab. So again, if you have a particular question, chances are that someone may have asked it already. So you can easily enter your keyword terms here or type your question, and you'll be referred back to that knowledge base. All right. Last thing I'll share with you is our A to Z databases tab over here at the very top. While Roadrunner Search searches the majority of the NCU Library's resources, it does not search everything. So sometimes it's easier to search an individual database. So our A to Z databases list includes a list of all of those databases that you have access to. You can easily filter these databases by subject. So if your focus is education, you can view all of the top education databases to conduct research and find relevant information related to your topic. You can also filter databases by type. So if you were interested in seeing dissertations, let's just say by other NCU students or students at other institutions worldwide, you can access our ProQuest dissertations and theses at North Central University database or our ProQuest dissertations and theses global database from this A to Z databases list. So again, know that that tab lives here in the orange navigation at the very top. But again, any questions that you have about navigating these resources and getting started with your research, please don't hesitate to reach out to the NCU Library. Again, you can submit your question, you can chat with us, you can call, and you can also text.
Thank you so much, Marisha. And great, everybody's got their camera back on. I'm going to just take a moment here for our attendees. If you would like to put anything in the Q&A or the chat, any last minute questions, but long end of the short of it is we are here to support you. And we want you to realize that one, we know there are a lot of resources. Two, we want to provide you a high-level overview of how to navigate these spaces. Because truly, we all know that we could take a single webinar to go through each center in detail. And the fact of the matter is, we probably wouldn't even be able to get through the library in one single webinar. But we really do want to you to know that we're here to support you and your student journey, and we want you to be successful academically. And so we're trying to make sure that you are aware of your tools that are at your fingertips, and we hope that that was shown to you during today's webinar. I do have one question that popped up in the chat, and I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a question for Marisha. It does say, is there access to business databases, for example, education business that straddles two schools?
That's a great question. So we do have subject-specific databases outlined for business and subject-specific databases outlined for education. I will say that there is a lot of cross resource sharing between our databases. So chances are that if you're looking at specific journals, they may be available in either or databases. So there's a lot of cross-listed resources. It would depend on your topic, right? So maybe you're looking at educational leadership. So you may want to look at the business databases. So like Business Source Complete for topics related to leadership in general, but you may want to look at educational leadership, maybe in K through 12, and that might be better suited for finding more targeted resources in Education Research Complete, which is a specific research database. So I think there's different ways to approach researching a topic. So, sticking to one subject specific database isn't always the answer. And I'm glad you brought up that question. So we can test different strategies and different types of databases.
Thank you so much for that question, Patrick. And I don't see anything else popping up in the chat. So at this time, I'm going to thank the attendees. And oh, there's one more question. Hold on. I'm a psychology major. How would I word for my searches? And I feel like I have a second for you to answer it, Marisha, if you can take a.
Sure, absolutely. So what I would recommend is if you're on the NCU Library's homepage, depending on what you're researching related to psychology, you can use Roadrunner search. So if you're, searching about a particular topic, I would type in your keyword term and hit submit to see what resources are available throughout the NCU Library. You also have that A to Z databases list, right? So we can actually filter to subject specific databases for psychology. And what's nice about searching these individual databases is that I know that all of the content in these databases are focused on my field of interest. So APA Psych articles would be a great database to begin researching psychology related concepts as well. So whether you start in Roadrunner search or whether you go to a subject specific database, it just depends on, the topic that you're tackling today, but those would be good places to start.
Thank you so much, Marisha. I appreciate that. And I'd like to thank the attendees. Thank you so much for your time. I'd like to thank Jenna and Marisha and Shelley for your time today. And until we see you the next time, know that we are here to help you and feel free to reach out. Take care.